Hello and welcome to another video for Minus Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles. And today we're looking at something that's now quite old, is very collectible, and is becoming increasingly more difficult to find pretty much in any condition. Now we are looking at the 1982 release for the upcoming 1983 by World Distributors from their series of Scooby-Doo Annuals. And so this particular one we're looking at today is the 1983 Scooby-Doo Annual, which is all based on the American media franchise, which was owned by Warner Brothers Entertainment. And it was created in 1969 by writers Joe Ruby and Ken Spears. Now, the series features 4 teenagers: Fred Jones, Daphnie Blake, Wilma Dinkley, and Shaggy Rogers, and their talking Great Dane named Scooby-Doo, who solve mysteries involving supposedly supernatural creatures through a series of antics and mishaps, and they travel around using a brightly coloured van which is called the Mystery Machine. Now, the franchise has been renamed multiple different things, but essentially it's all the same stories. Well, it's all the same stories. It's all the same group of stories, if you like. Scooby-Doo was originally broadcast on CBS from 1969 to 1976. And then it moved to ABC, and it aired in various versions of Scooby-Doo until it was cancelled in 1986. So it originally started off with Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And then became the new Scooby-Doo movies, the Scooby-Doo show, Scooby-Doo Goes to Hollywood, and then of course we had Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, Scooby and Scrappy-Doo Puppy Hour as well. And then we had the new Scooby and Scrappy show, the new Scooby-Doo Mysteries, the Scary Scooby Funnies, 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo, Back to Just Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo Meets the Boo Brothers, Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf, A Pup Named Scooby-Doo, Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo Again. So there was multiple different names of the show. Each time they come up with a new format or new writers or what have you, they renamed it Scooby-Doo and something else. So very popular, and as far as I'm aware, it's still being produced up until current. So right now they're still making Scooby-Doo episodes. Anyway, this is the annual in front of us, and right at the top it's got Hanna-Barberas Scooby-Doo, and it's got the annual, and you've got the World Distributors logo at the bottom right hand corner, and there you can see Fred at the bottom there. I don't know what he's holding on to, some boxes. You've got Daphne and Wilma at the top, and you've got Scooby, who has jumped onto Shaggy. Obviously something has spooked him. I think the light from Fred's torch has probably spooked him. But there we are. Okay, so that's front cover. Let's turn it over to the back, and on the back you can see the gang. So again, you've got Wilma, Shaggy, Fred, Daphne and Scooby in the middle. And again, at the bottom it's got Hanna-Barberas Scooby-Doo Annual, and it's got the SBN number, which is 7235 66666. There we go. I hope they're not running to the devil. Okay, so that's the back cover. And just a quick look at the spline. It says Hanna-Barberas Scooby-Doo Annual, and you've got the World Distributors logo at the bottom there. Okay, that's the annual, front and back covers. Let's open it up and let's have a look inside. Okay, so I have opened the annual, and this is inside the front cover. And there you can see the gang in a Jeep, looks like in the desert, being chased by a Egyptian mummy by the looks of things. It says Hanna-Barberas Scooby-Doo Annual, and you notice at the bottom corner of the page has been cut off there, because there would have been the price on there of new, and it's been clipped off, which is why they were put into the corners like that, so you could clip them off if you were giving them away as gifts. Okay, next page, contents. Mysterious Magic. These are the stories. Mysterious Magic. There's Snow Ghost, The Ghost Train, Hand from the Wall, Ghostly Goings On, The Swamp Witch, and then you got the features That's Odd, The Joke's on You Scooby-Doo, Draw Scooby and Shaggy, All Kinds of Dogs, Scooby's Amazed, Mighty Puzzling, and Ghouls and Ghosties. And it's copyright 1972 by Hanna-Barbera Productions Inc. All rights reserved. throughout the world, published in Great Britain by, 1982, not 1972. Published by World International Publishing Limited, a Pentos company, and you've got the address and details there. Printed in Italy by New Interlitho Spa, and you've got the SBN number again, which is 7235 66666. Okay, so the very first story is called Mysterious Magic, and it is a full story with colour illustrations, and that runs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. And the next story is a comic strip story, and it says Hanna-Barberas Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? That's Snow Ghost. And that is a colour comic strip story, and it runs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, wow, 8, 9, 10, 11, wow, 12 pages. That's quite a long story. And then we've got That's Odd, which is there are 5 ordinary everyday objects on this page, but somehow they don't look quite so ordinary, do they? Can you see what's wrong with them? The answers are upside down at the bottom of the page. Well, the teapot, the spout is upside down. Well, that looks like there's two left feet. Chair has got a shorter leg at the back. So there's no spokes on the back wheel, but it has been coloured in by somebody. And it looks like the phone cord is plugged into the wrong end of the phone there, so I'm just assuming that's the way it is. The phone cord is upside down. Okay, don't go on. The joke's on you, Scooby-Doo. The gang have quite a collection of favourite jokes, and they're all about dogs. Here are some of the best of them. What goes tick-tock, woof, woof? A watchdog. Ha! Rob, here, camera. Bob, what do you call your dog, camera? Why do you call your dog camera? Rob, because he keeps snapping at me. Okay, first dog, my name's Fido. What's your name? Second dog, I'm not sure. I think it's Downboy. Okay, on to the next story, which is called The Ghost Train. And again, it's a full story with colour illustrations. And there's the Mystery Machine. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. And then we come on to the next comic strip story, which is called Hand from the Wall. And there is the Mystery Machine again. And it's a full colour comic strip story. And that is 2, 4, well, that's only 5 pages in compared to the last one. Draw Scooby and Shaggy. So you've got the boxes there with the pictures in, and you draw them in the squares adjacent to the copy. See how accurately you can get those images. All kinds of dogs. There's never been another dog quite like Scooby-Doo, that's for sure. But how good are you at naming other breeds? Do you know the names of the 6 shown here? Scooby-Doo doesn't think you should have any trouble with number 1 at least. The answers are at the bottom of the page. See if you can get them all. Dog 1 quick. Well, obviously number 1 is the Great Dane because it's the same as Scooby-Doo. I think number 5 is a Spaniel. And I think number 6 is a Basset Hound. Sorry, not number 5. Number 4 is a Spaniel, I should say. But anyway, yeah, I don't know all the breeds. Okay, now where's number 3? Oh, it's an old English sheep job. I thought I recognised that. Anyway, next story, Ghostly Goings On. And here we are, again, a full story with colour illustrations. And there's that Mystery Machine again. And that runs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. And then we've got Scooby's Amaze. Scooby-Doo can smell a delicious bone not too far away, but he just can't find his way through the maze to get to it. See if you can help him. And this has actually already been done in colour pencil by somebody. So there we are. Follow it through to the bone. Okay. Mighty puzzling. Who's hiding? Fill in the answer to the clues in the correct spaces. Going across, and you'll find the name of a friend in the marked column going down. Where to find water in the desert, which is an oasis, obviously. Where you live, which is your home. Begin, start. You take it on holiday luggage. Something you aim for as a target. And a colourful bird. Well, I've got J in there. So, that's, and obviously the character is Shaggy. Now, John is twice as old as his sister, and the total of their ages is 21. How old is John? Twice as old as his sister. Oh, I can't figure that out. Peter is 2 feet taller than Paul, and the total height is 8 feet. How tall is Paul? There are 51 people at a party, and 1/3 of them leave early. How many are left? Well, for you to figure out, spot the pair, and that's again. These have been, some of these have been done. There's pencil marks, but they could always be rubbed out. Can you draw a square with 3 lines? And I don't think that's what you meant. Okay, true or false? Paris is the capital of France, which is true. Spaghetti grows on trees, which is false. There are 6 furlongs in a mile, that's false. Black Beauty was written by Anna Sewell, I think that's right. Moby Dick was a shark, which is false. A quill is a type of ballpoint pen, which is correct. A young hare is called a harlot. Eloise is a kind of Swiss cheese. Don't know. Okay, next story. Comic strip story called The Swamp Witch. With Scooby-Doo, where are you? So we got a full colour strip with 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 pages. And then that brings us to the end of the annual. And it says ghoulies and ghosts and long-legged beasties. What is the difference between a wizard and the letters K-E-M-A and S? One makes spells and the other spells makes. Oh, yeah. What does a witch use to tell the time? A witch watch. Huh? What is Dracula's favourite song? Fangs for the Memory. What do ghosts eat for breakfast? Dreaded wheat. What do ghosts watch at the theatre? A pantomime. What do ghosts use to open doors? Skeleton keys. I hear you've fallen in love with Dracula. Yes, it was love at first bite. Dracula's wife, before we leave for our holidays tomorrow, remind me to cancel the daily pinter from the blood man. First ghost, I don't seem to frighten people anymore, do you? Second ghost, no, we might as well be dead for all they care. First ghost, I see the film Killer on the Looses on TV tonight. Second ghost, don't watch it. I saw it at the cinema and it frightened the life out of me. Why are ghosts very simple people? Because it's easy to see through them. What sort of melody would a ghost sing? A haunting melody. There we are. Okay, that brings us to the end of the annual. Okay, so now you're going to ask, how well did this annual do back in 1982-83? Well, I mean, back in those days, we really didn't have video recorders. I think video recorders were just coming out in the early 1980s. Very, very few people had them. They weren't readily available to most people. And of course, the tapes wasn't that easy to find back in the early 80s. However, and of course, so there was no DVDs, no streaming, no internet, nothing like that at that point. So really, the main way you would get to relive your favourite television shows, your favourite soccer teams, your favourite pop stars, and your favourite comics was to have the annuals. And the annuals were released once a year, around about September, October, November time, so they were in time for the Christmas release, and they were released prior to the year they were representing. So this was the 1982 release for the 1983 year. But yeah, at the time, obviously popularity was very high on all these TV programs, and every annual, there used to be abundance of different annuals. Anything that was fairly popular on TV, any pop stars, any football teams, anything like that, annuals were produced. Even things like Barbie had their own regular annuals, Action Man had his own regular annuals, and so on. So there was lots and lots of annuals being produced for different types of things, and all very popular. It was staple diet. On Christmas morning, you would wake up with a couple of annuals in your Christmas sack or your Christmas stocking. So yeah, they all done remarkably well, and obviously Scooby-Doo was a very, very popular kids television show, so it would have done remarkably well. Okay, let's move on to 2025, which is where we are today. So we're moving on 43 years since this annual was produced. Do they come up for sale very often on the platforms? Well, no, not as often as you would have thought, considering that they were mass produced back in the 80s. They do still come up from time to time, various different states of condition, but they are quite difficult to find, especially this particular one. I don't know why this one is so hard to find. I think overall there's been quite a vast amount of Scooby-Doo annuals released over the years, but this one does seem to be one of the harder ones to find. Not saying it's impossible to find. You can find them on the platforms. They do pop up from time to time, but not as frequently as some of the others. And obviously, if you intend to buy on a platform, again, be careful. Somebody's idea of very good condition could be somebody else's idea of acceptable condition. So do have a good look at the images and a good read of the description before you order, to save any disappointment once it arrives. And also, some of the platforms use stock images and stock descriptions, so what you're looking at in front of you might not be what you actually receive if you order it. If there's no new available, they automatically go to the cheapest used item, and that may very well be what you do not want. So if it doesn't say new and the used icon is there, click it and read what you're about to order. Otherwise, you will be disappointed when the item arrives, and you'll think you're being ripped off. However, it wouldn't be the fault of the seller, and it wouldn't be the fault of the buyer either. It's just the way the platforms work. So just remember that when you're using one of those particular types of platforms. Otherwise, you don't need to go for any of that. You can come straight to us at Minus Touch Toys, Games, Collectibles, where what you see in front of you is exactly the item you will receive should you wish to order. And you can only order the item you are currently looking at. You can't order something that's not being displayed in front of you. And if we do have various different states of condition, they are listed under the completely different product numbers, so you cannot order the item that you're not interested in. Okay, and this particular item, we only have a couple of copies of these actually, but as of today, they are available to purchase on the Minus Touch website, which you can get to very simply by clicking the link below. It will take you straight to the website, where you'll be able to find this and many, many other vintage annuals. And many other vintage toys, games and collectibles come to that. There's over 10,000 products currently available on the website for you to view and purchase at your leisure. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button, because we're uploading videos for every new item that goes into the website. There will be something for everybody, and I'm absolutely positive this is something that you're not going to want to miss, because we literally have thousands and thousands of new items which we're shooting videos for and uploading on a daily basis. So if there is something in particular you're looking for, something old you've never been able to find, something quirky you might want to buy for a friend, or perhaps just something from your childhood that you like to own again to help you recuperate those long lost childhood memories, well, stay tuned, keep watching, because you never know, the next item we upload could be that item you've been looking for. Okay, that is it for me on this particular item. I do hope you've enjoyed reviewing this wonderful, wonderful vintage Scooby-Doo annual with me. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again next video. So bye for now.